Hi everybody, I'm Lindsay Ferrier for Moms Matter. In the last few years, fracking has become part of the national political discussion. So today on our road trip, we're headed to Washington, Pennsylvania to find out what kind of impact fracking is having on the families who live here. America's natural gas reserves and how to get to them are becoming a major topic of political discussion. In speech after speech, President Obama assures Americans that our gas fields are good news for the economy.
The supply of natural gas that can last America nearly 100 years. And my administration will take every possible action to safely develop this energy. The experts believe this will support more than 600,000 jobs by the end of the decade. And I'm requiring all companies that drill for gas on public lands to disclose the chemicals they use. Because America will develop this resource without putting the health and safety of our citizens at risk.
But a different conversation is happening in Washington, Pennsylvania, where natural gas wells are rapidly changing the rural landscape. I'm standing right now on top of the Marcellus Shale, which is basically a gigantic rock formation that runs underneath 5 states and holds the second largest natural gas field in the world. Now, geologists only discovered about 5 years ago that we had so much natural gas. And since that time, gas companies have been scrambling to lease this land from its owners and drill gas wells. This all sounds pretty great on its surface because this means jobs for thousands of Americans. This means a lot of extra money for the people who own this land. And this means that America could have enough natural gas to power itself for the next 100 years. But for the people who live here, it's not as simple as it sounds. The controversy centers around fracking, the process used to get natural gas out of shale. Myron Arnowit from the Clean Water Council explains.
We use fracking to, when you drill a gas well down into the shale, and then you take water and chemicals and put it down into the well at high pressure. It breaks up the rock, and then that releases the gas, and then the gas comes out the well.
With so many wells being drilled now, 52,000 in Pennsylvania alone, people who live near the drilling are worried about the effects that fracking could have on their water supply and their town.
There's a lot of different pieces to the industry, and it really can take over an area between the pipelines, the compressor stations, the gas wells themselves, the truck traffic. It really adds up to totally changing a community.
But for many, the concerns come too late. They've already signed leases, giving the gas companies permission to use their land.
A lot of people signed leases without having any idea of what this would mean. And I know a lot of leaseholders who regret it very much and are very mad about it.
Karen Galligan is one of those leaseholders. She and her husband moved to rural Pennsylvania to give their 10-year-old daughter a safe place to grow up.
We've been very happy here. It's peaceful. The air smells so beautiful all the time, wildflowers, and we have our privacy, complete privacy, and that is so rare in this day and age.
But Karen says all that changed when a gas well was drilled just down the street from her house. After their neighbors signed leases giving a gas company access to their land, the Milligans reluctantly signed one too. But she says the money she got wasn't worth the laundry list of resulting problems.
Noise, odd smells, tons of traffic, destroyed roads because they were never built for those heavy, heavy trucks. Strange people, a lot of Texas license plates, a lot of Colorado license plates, Kentucky license plates. The whole thing was just kind of overwhelming.
It wasn't long before Karen began to worry about the effects of fracking on her once pristine property.
Is my well water okay? What's in the stream that runs across the bottom of my property? What kinds of things when there are frac fluid spills and it dries up and then the dust becomes airborne, are we breathing? That kind of thing.
Karen had her well water tested, and it wasn't contaminated. And it's important to note that experts disagree on whether or not fracking is harmful to the environment. Still, Karen hasn't been able to put her concerns aside.
I think, early on, I know I said to my husband, oh my gosh, I want to move. This is, and then okay, calm down. First of all, there would probably be an issue selling because a lot of people, there's a lot of prejudice in buyers, and rightfully so. of homes in areas where they are drilling.
Despite all this, Karen still believes in President Obama's vision of a nation powered by natural gas.
I'm all for improving the environment, and the natural gas is a cleaner burning technology versus coal. And we have great stores of it here, and it's ours. It's not, from overseas or wherever. So yes, I mean, I think this is a necessary thing to have happen. But at the same time, it can't be done with any kind of disregard to the environmental safety of the people that have to live in these areas where it's being extracted, or the wildlife, or the plant life, or any other life.
Myron Arnowitz says plenty of Pennsylvanians feel the same way.
There are lots of people who are not necessarily against drilling, but they're very concerned about what it's doing to their communities. And I think if you talk to people, they have very reasonable requests of what they want to see. They don't want to see drilling around their kids' school. They don't want to see drilling, near their homes in residential neighborhoods like we have in Pennsylvania. They want to make sure that, their air is protected, that their water is protected. These are all doable things, and they're very frustrated that both the gas companies and their political representatives, the state leadership, is just not listening to them about it.
And while some are now moving out of communities where gas companies have moved in, Karen says she and her family aren't going anywhere.
We built this home, we love this area, this is what we wanted. We're not going to have this situation push us out of it.
Clearly, fracking is a complex and emotional issue for the people who live in this area, and it's one that's only going to affect even more people in the years to come. For CafeMom, I'm Lindsay Ferrier.